Hello and welcome to Kitco Mining's Investment Trends with me, Paul Harris. Today we're talking about exploration in Yukon, Canada, and I'm joined by Yukon Metals, which trades on the CSE under the ticker YMC and on the OTCQB in the United States under the ticker YMMCF. Joining me today is CEO Rory Quinn. Rory, welcome to Kitco.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Now, Yukon Metals will be a new name for many of our listeners. You're focused on three main targets. You've got quite an extensive property portfolio in Yukon, but you're focused on three main targets: two copper gold, and which are near Alaska, and one gold and silver project near Ross River. Why don't we start off with a quick overview of each of those projects?
Great, no, exactly. Star River, we can start there. Star River is our silver gold asset. We originally thought it was going to be a silver lead zinc, but we subsequently have found really high grade gold at surface. So 101 gram per ton gold at surface. We see that in highly oxidized arsenopyrite. And then we see silver. We're up to 11,000 gram per ton silver in this type of rock. This is galena, which houses silver, some lead, some antimony, really heavy in the hand, and we're literally walking on this type of stuff at Star River. We did a site visit a couple of weeks ago, a high net worth site visit, and really steps from the helicopter, people are being able to grab these kind of samples out of the ground. So really exciting there at Star River. We've been drilling 3 targets just at this one property, and we're now getting core to the lab, assays pending at Star River. That's really our silver gold focused asset. Key with Star River, it's right on an all-weather access road plowed by the government year-round. Why that's meaningful is over the long term, we'll be able to support exploration and potentially mining by road, not by air, right? Not necessarily being helicopter supported. So we'll be able to bring in people, equipment, expedite goods by road. So we've been very busy at Star River. That's one asset. Birch is another asset we've recently put out news on. At Birch, we had a 1,400 meter long gold in soil anomaly up to 0.99 gram per ton gold in soil. So almost a gram per ton gold in soil, and nice up to 0.24% copper. We've been drilling there. We did some induced polarization there as well. We've been drilling along this soil anomaly, and we've been in skarn in every drill hole. Up to 750 meters across in strike. So we feel really comfortable and really confident in our geologic model. And so we're going to continue to test this along strike this season at Birch. And so we believe we can just follow this skarn all the way along. And at Birch, that gold in soil anomaly, we think is the surface expression of an intact copper porphyry. So we think we can get into multiple skarns close to surface. We're seeing mineralization as shallow as 25 meters and then up to 46 meters of continuous mineralization between roughly 250 meters and 300 meters. So really exciting there, given the potential scale of an intact copper porphyry, the fact that we can being able to follow a skarn so close to surface across 750 meters, and then there's the potential for multiple skarns. So really, really exciting at Birch. And then at AZ, AZ is also in the west part of the territory, 6 kilometers away from the Alaska Highway. We have 3.5% copper at surface, which itself sits on a 1.2 kilometer long Gossan zone where there's grade all the way along. We found a new target where just really by old style prospecting, malachite really all over the surface, and we found an outcropping of malachite and then chalcopyrite, which ran 1% copper and over 5 gram per ton gold. Essentially colored our hole there, and we're seeing exactly the right type of rock package. Lots of smoke there. So really, those are the 3 assets that we're advancing. The focus on this season is come away with multiple discoveries, right? And I think there's every chance that we'll succeed in that.
Okay. Now, you've got many more properties than this, so how did you focus on these 3? You've got copper, you've got silver. What's the business plan you're working towards?
Yeah, I mean, it was incumbent upon us to focus, to bring some focus to the portfolio. We were fortunate to transact on so many good assets from the Birdall family, but we really looked at three axes. So potential for real scale, right? And so certainly we have that at Birch and AZ, really two really large copper gold assets by land. Birch is 7,000 hectares, AZ is 13,000 hectares, really large properties, but also the potential for really large mineral systems. And then Star, a little bit more low-hanging fruit, given we've got gold and silver right at surface. But then grade, we're 3.5% copper at AZ, right at surface, 5 gram per ton gold at surface at AZ. At Birch, we had up to 14 gram per ton gold at surface, and two multiple samples of 2.4% copper. And then, at Star, 11,000 gram per ton silver and 101 gram per ton gold. So those certainly tick the boxes there. And then finally, it was proximity to road and power. So Star River, as I took you through, right on an all-access road, I can get into a F-150 at Whitehorse Airport and be on property in 5 hours, right? So really easy that way. And as mentioned, AZ, 6 kilometers away from the Alaska Highway. It's where our package of properties is. It's quite hilly and mountainous, but just before that, it's quite flat. So it's quite amenable to a road getting to site, 6 kilometers. Once you're on the Alaska Highway, then you can get down to Deepwater Port at Skagway, right, and get your product to market if you have a project.
Now, you mentioned the property package was put together by the Birdall family, I think you said. So how did Yukon Metals obtain the property package? What's the connection between Yukon Metals and the Birdall family?
Yeah, so just with Snowline, really that's the Birdalls were really responsible for the portfolio that was the genesis for Snowline Gold. That was the primary gold assets that Ron Birdall and Scott Birdall had in their family portfolio. They floated to Snowline a few years ago. They've obviously gone on to have tremendous success, real gold focus. And Keith Neumeyer worked with the Birdalls to float that and to structure it from the financial side. And so after a couple of years seeing great success there, both technically and then in the markets as well, last April we chose to float Yukon Metals with the balance of the Birdall family portfolio. So this was copper, gold, silver, lead, zinc, and critical metals. And so this is how we had this large group of assets. And so Keith helped bring in myself and put together a team last April. Raised $15 million out of the gate last May, and got listed in June, and really that was it. Just putting a team together, and that's how it's all come together. So we did a lot of targeting work last season, and then this season discovery drilling. Next season we'll be working towards resource drilling.
Okay, so the Birdall family are key shareholders. Keith Neumeyer is a key shareholder. You've also got Crescat Capital as a key shareholder. With the financing you did, $50 million last year, who else came in with that financing? Yeah, so kind of a who's who of the senior brokers at Haywood. So is the folks that people know, John Tognetti, David Lyle, Bob Disbrow, and Tim Ferriss has been a key supporter there, Thomas Relling. So a really strong support at Haywood, at Canaccord, Pat Leckie, Bernie, Peter Brown is a major shareholder, obviously former chair of Canaccord. It's pretty rare to find really patient risk capital, and we've had that. And look, it certainly hasn't hurt that Snowline has been successful and that we've got such quality assets and quality names involved. But that's been a real benefit. So we raised the first $15 million at an average of 38 cents. That was last year, April. This past April, we did a top up of $11 million and raised at 55 cents. And today we've been trading between 80 and 90 cents. So we shot up to almost 90 cents. I think seeing a bit of profit taking, but a nice range here between 80 and 90 cents. So created real value even before assays come out. And then now we're really looking forward to assays. So what's the plan in terms of financing going forward? Because I imagine you're coming to the end of your working season in Yukon. drilling results to come. How much cash will we have by the end of the year? What will you need, or what do you think you'll need for next year's exploration program?
So we'll exit this season with 9 to 10 million, which is, I mean, we're a small office in Vancouver. We've got a 3-person office. I think it costs us $5,500 a month. So it doesn't, the burn isn't high. G&A really the money we spend is in the ground and on technical talent. So like I said, we'll exit the season with about 9 million. That will give us plenty of money, more than enough to get all of this great news that we expect to have out, assays from 3 properties, consider our next steps, which will be to get these assets were on a class 1 permit, where you're relatively limited to person days on site and the amount you can drill. We're going to be, as soon as we wrap up exploration and drilling now, we're going to be pivoting to permitting, and to permitting at a class 3 level, which allows you up to 50 people at camp at a time instead of 10, which we've been working on now. Virtually, at least for our purposes, unlimited drilling and person days. So that would be a huge leap for us, right? So we'll go from relatively conservative amount of drilling to get your discovery, and then next year you can really ramp up that drilling. So look, I'm not going to put the cart before the horse here. We'll see what these results look like. Our technical team will get together, build a program, budget it for next year, but I expect a substantially larger program by orders of magnitude next year.
Okay, well, let's dig into that a bit more. So this year's drilling has been sort of, let's say, confirmation, and assuming you get the results you want, next year is going to be resource drilling. Snowline Gold just raised more than $100 million, and Scott Budell said that gives them the bandwidth, the financial bandwidth to do, 3 or 4 years worth of work without having to come back to the financial markets. Tens of thousands of meters of drilling. Fireweed's doing similar, very, very big campaigns. When you say you're going to, aggressively ramp up drilling next year, is that the kind of thing you're thinking about, sort of tens of thousands of meters?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Tens of thousands of meters, right? I mean, like Snowline have obviously now they've advanced a great deal, and Fireweed is another company that's a very good company in the Yukon that is quite advanced. We're relatively early, I would say, just not comparing ourselves to Snowline technically, but just stage. We're really kind of in the first year and a half of our journey, and so it's about it's when kind of at the stage with where we are with Birch, for instance, might be similar to when they discovered Valley, like that type of frame it. So it really then takes another year to get in there. Once you've been able to follow mineralization or have a discovery, then you come in and are able to do significantly more drilling.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the catalysts over the next 12 months or so. Obviously, I imagine a lot of those are going to be drilling result related. So what are the catalysts coming up that people should be watching out for?
Well, assays. From here till the end of the year into January, we'll have assays. And then I think, as I mentioned, for us, permitting really for us is quite a catalyst, going from class 1 to a class 3 where we can really ramp up our activity. And then once we have that class 3 permit, we have it for 10 years. That's meaningful. And then we'll probably have 2 or 3 other assets that we really like that will work on a class 1 permit. So next season is certainly shaping up to be really major milestone for the company. But in the near term, I mean, we're going to have assays from AZ. We're going to have the first tranche of assays from Star River, first tranche of assays from Birch, second tranche of assays from Star River and Birch. And so there's going to be, I mean, really it's the good stuff, the truth machine, the stuff people really want to see, drilling assays really from here through January.
A lot of news coming out throughout the remainder of the year.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, once again, Yukon Metals trades on the CSE in Canada under YMC and on the OTCQB in the US under YMMCF. Rory Quinn, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Paul. Thanks for having me.
And that's all from Kitco Mining's investment trends for the moment. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button. I'm Paul Harris, and this is Kitco Mining.